Shedeur Sanders under fire. Coach Prime's ailing health shadows rookie QB's spiraling start in Cleveland. Shedeur Sanders arrived in Cleveland not just as another NFL rookie, but as a symbol of legacy, expectation, and the relentless spotlight that follows the Sanders name. As the son of the iconic Deion Coach Prime Sanders, Shedeur's journey to the Browns was marked by promise, poise, and the type of pedigree that gets franchises excited. But within just a month of joining the team, that optimism has taken a sharp, unsettling turn. What began as a story of hope is now unfolding as a cautionary tale of pressure, perception, and the perils of fame. At minicamp, Shedeur was an early standout, completing passes with a 77.4% accuracy rate and displaying remarkable field vision and arm strength. The young quarterback gave Browns fans something they hadn't felt in a long time: belief. His confidence was infectious. The coaching staff responded by giving him a symbolic role at a youth flag football camp, a subtle but powerful indication that they saw him as a cornerstone of the team's future. But while he was commanding attention on the field, a different narrative was beginning to brew off it. And now, the focus has shifted from his playbook to his police record. In the span of just 1 month, Shedeur Sanders has landed himself in hot water, not once, but twice, for reckless speeding. On June 5th in Brunswick Hills, Ohio, he was clocked at 91 miles per hour in a 65 miles per hour zone. That alone was cause for concern. But just days later, he was caught again, this time in Strongsville, driving at a staggering 101 miles per hour, nearly 40 miles over the legal limit. The infractions resulted in over $500 in fines and a scheduled court appearance for July 3rd. However, when that court date came, Shedeur wasn't there. Adding insult to injury, the 23-year-old missed his arraignment and then proceeded to make light of the situation at a charity softball game hosted by teammate David Njoku. What should have been an opportunity for redemption and grace became yet another PR disaster when Shedeur joked about the citations in a manner many perceived as tone-deaf and immature. Critics quickly pounced, calling his remarks an insincere apology and questioning his readiness for the NFL spotlight. Amid the chaos, Deion Sanders, battling serious health issues of his own, stood firmly by his son. Despite undergoing treatment and missing time due to circulation-related complications, Coach Prime turned to social media to send an encouraging message to Shedeur. In a cryptic and heartfelt Instagram post, he wrote, "You've got to roll up your sleeves and fight. This ain't no ordinary attack. This is a real sophisticated, highly educated attack. This enemy knows you and knows your weaknesses. You will claim the victory if you don't quit, give up, or give in. You got God, baby." Hashtag Coach Prime. It was classic Deion, part preacher, part motivator, all father. For him, this moment isn't just about speeding tickets or bad headlines. It's a defining chapter in his son's life, a test of grit and character, and an opportunity to see if Shedeur is truly built for this next level. The NFL world, however, is not so forgiving. Veteran players, analysts, and insiders have weighed in with strong and often divided opinions. Former Pro Bowl cornerback Asani Samuel was one of the few voices to defend Shedeur. "Every MF player speeds," he tweeted. "This is normal athlete behavior, but because his last name is Sanders, the haters want to bring as much negative attention as possible. I've never seen a community want to tear a player down like this." But many others were far less sympathetic. On the Stinkin' Truth podcast, NFL analyst Mark Schlereth didn't hold back. "It's like you just failed another intelligence test," he said, referring to the repeated speeding violations. "Nobody's ever called you legendary except yourself. That in and of itself is kind of douchey." Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe echoed similar sentiments on his nightcap show. "You got to realize you're Shedeur Sanders," Sharpe said. "You know what comes with that last name. You know who your father is. You will probably get criticized, scrutinized a little bit more than another 21, 22, or 23-year-old. And his last name isn't Sanders. His father isn't Coach Prime." Sharpe's comments struck a deeper chord because they weren't just about traffic violations. They were about the weight of legacy, the burden of expectation, and the reality of growing up in the public eye. The Sanders name may open doors, but it also brings relentless scrutiny. And in today's social media-fueled world, mistakes are amplified tenfold. Mary Kay Cabot, a respected Browns beat reporter, added her voice to the chorus. That's reckless behavior. It's dangerous. And I don't care what anybody says. That is not what you want from your rookie quarterback. That's not a good look. Indeed, Shedeur had been building trust inside the locker room. Teammates admired his composure, work ethic, and humility. Slowly, he was carving out his own identity, separate from his father's Hall of Fame aura. But that progress now risks being undone. In a locker room already brimming with competition and veteran egos, a young quarterback can't afford to look unserious. Leadership in the NFL is about more than talent, it's about accountability. And for many within the Browns organization, this latest incident raised red flags. But there's still time to rewrite the narrative. This is not the first time Shedeur has faced adversity. He wasn't picked in the early rounds of the draft, a perceived snub that hurt, but also motivated him. He's carried the weight of expectations since high school, navigated the transition from HBCU stardom to the national stage, and walked in the larger-than-life footsteps of one of the most outspoken figures in sports history. His response now will determine how he's remembered. Will he double down on the brash confidence that critics say borders on arrogance? Or will he show growth, humility, and the maturity needed to lead a professional football team? The answer won't come in one press conference or one game. It will be written over the coming months, through his actions, both on and off the field. For Deion Sanders, the challenge is doubly personal. As a coach, he's mentored hundreds of young athletes. As a father, he's watched his sons chase dreams and battle demons. And as a man facing health struggles of his own, he understands better than most how quickly life can shift. That's why his words carry weight. Because he's not just cheering from the sidelines. He's fighting for his own strength while reminding Shedeur to find his. Cleveland is a city that loves an underdog. It rallies behind redemption stories and embraces players who give their all. If Shedeur Sanders wants to truly win over this city, he doesn't need to be perfect. He just needs to be accountable. Because in the NFL, talent gets you in the door. Character keeps you in the room. And for Shedeur, the room is watching closely. The answer won't come in one press conference or one game. It will be written over the coming months, through his actions, both on and off the field. For Deion Sanders, the challenge is doubly personal. As a coach, he's mentored hundreds of young athletes. As a father, he's watched his sons chase dreams and battle demons. And as a man facing health struggles of his own, he understands better than most how quickly life can shift. That's why his words carry weight. Because he's not just cheering from the sidelines. He's fighting for his own strength while reminding Shedeur to find his. Cleveland is a city that loves an underdog. It rallies behind redemption stories and embraces players who give their all. If Shedeur Sanders wants to truly win over this city, he doesn't need to be perfect. He just needs to be accountable. Because in the NFL, talent gets you in the door. Character keeps you in the room. And for Shedeur, the room is watching closely.